Hey everyone, this is your friend Kumar and I welcome all of you to my chat show live with KK. Today we have our guest Sandra Robinson from Australia. She is an entrepreneur, educator and an innovator. She runs her organization Skills Strategies International. So without doing any further delay, I would like to welcome Sandra. Welcome, Sandra, to our show.
Thank you, Kumaresh. Thank you very much for inviting me.
So, Sandra, tell us something about you and your organization so that people can relate with you.
Okay. We've been in business for 22 years. I used to be a teacher in my previous life and used to deliver learning to students about how to get jobs. As part of that, I was working with a lot of businesses and they wanted more training about how to train students on the job. So I set up Skills Strategies International then to be able to deliver certificate training to those people who were training our students on the job. That progressed and I left education and started working full-time in the business. Because I had so many connections with the industry, they wanted more training about how to run their businesses and skills in that area. So we developed from there over the time. Originally, I was working on my own and then we had one other partner join. And now we've got 18 staff delivering skills across a range of areas. We started off running in Perth in Western Australia. Now we've got offices in Mandurah, which is a regional area south of Perth, focused on tourism, and Victoria on the other side of Australia, and Queensland as well up on the Gold Coast. So we've gone from just one person to 18 people across 4 different regions. Wow. And it's really exciting to be involved with so many different people. Doing a range of things for different businesses. Our aim is to improve people individually, the way they work, but also to improve the businesses. So it's about lifting everyone, doing those sort of things. We also run some special projects about developing entrepreneurs. We have been working in the Mandurah region, which has a fair amount of unemployment. Working on coaching people and developing entrepreneurs down there. And we're just applying for another grant about doing more of that, but with women and young people. Because of COVID, there is a lot of unemployment and we're looking at skilling people up so they can run their own businesses.
Wow, great. You know, I'm totally, what can I say? I'm in sync with you on one part because I always believe that I am a life learner. So I believe that people always should learn and improve themselves. Then only they can become a better human being. And especially exactly. In a scenario when you know, a lot of things are changing around us, right? And we need certain skill set to learn so that we can cope up with this particular, particular situation or this particular changes which is happening in global environment. So, like that, the role of those people like you is very important, who will help the younger generation, the entrepreneurs, and even the industry to cope up with this skill set gap. Thanks a lot for the role which you are playing at this moment. So one thing which I would like to understand from your end, from a customer perspective, that what differentiation you bring in place, for which one client should choose you or choose SSI rather than any other any other competitor.
I think our difference is that we're very customer oriented. I don't know whether I'm allowed to swear on here, but one of my staff said our difference is we give a shit, which is very colloquial, but that's what's different about us. Like I just had a lady ring about doing a course. She tried to do it with another organisation and didn't feel that she got looked after. Now, she might not necessarily go with us, but I gave her a lot of information about what was important in doing that particular course. We might not be the right fit for her, but it's important that she has that information to make her decision. So we go the extra mile. The other thing we believe in doing is acting with integrity. It's really important for us that we do the right thing and hold up our end of the bargain, but always in a way that maintains that integrity. So we'll customize things for people to get exactly what they want. We'll go the extra mile, even if it means that we're not getting business out of it, because that gets your name out there anyway. And look after people, give them exactly what they need, and in a way that, you know, is the right thing to do. Even if, you know, money isn't our main orientation, we think if we do the right thing, well, we will get enough and do it that way. So they're the things that we value most. As well as that, we deliver permaculture, which is about, you know, looking after the environment. So that sort of thing is important to us as well. Our values are as important as the work we do. And we select staff that maintain those. They're the important things in selecting staff, because we can train them with the skills. We've got to have the right people in the business.
Wow. So you know, there are a lot of things which you told to us, and let me one thing which stuck to my mind is walking that extra mile. So it looks like it's part of your why, more than you know, you look forward for the material stuff like revenue and other stuff. It's more about the why. Like you want help people to uplift themselves, to, you know, equip themselves with new skills, right? And I think that's a great thing itself. Like as an organization, if you know your why and you can keep working in that particular direction, it's awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing this. I'm sure that, you know, for all those people who are going to watch this particular video and they are entrepreneurs, they need to relate with this particular point. Thanks a lot, Sandra. So coming to my next question. So now in everywhere we are talking about COVID-19, and if I take an interview and I don't talk about this, then it's going to be a crime. Okay, so you tell me, and it's a very important question. Like I really want to understand that what changes you think this COVID-19 bring in educational industry, and the second question, which is very related to it, how you are handling or tackling them, how your organization is coping up with those changes. If you can just put some light on that.
It's really interesting because when I first came into business, working online was very important. Back in 2002, I won a scholarship to look at e-learning, and that was looking at e-learning internationally. So I traveled around a bit, did a lot of research, and was very keen to use a blended mode of delivery, not just entirely online, but we could never really get it off the ground. I think because e-learning was putting content online by most businesses, which is not the way we do it, it sort of had a bad name. People thought, oh, e-learning's too difficult. I need to do it on my own. I don't have the people connection, so it wasn't popular. So this year in January, we got all the team together and we did strategic planning, and we decided we were going to get e-learning off the ground. We invested in some infrastructure, got things in place ready to go, but still there was some reluctance among staff. They really preferred to have their learners come face to face. And then COVID hit. I had a colleague ring me and say, so this is a big opportunity, what are you doing? And I said, we're going to make e-learning work. And for my staff who'd been reluctant, there was no option. We couldn't have people into the classroom, so we had to say, no, we're going to do it online. We're going to do it the way we planned. We're still going to have the connection with our learners, but we're going online. And it was the best thing that happened to us. We got more enrollments, and people were saying, wow, this is great. I really enjoy this. It's even better than working face to face. And some of my staff are saying that as well. So now that we've opened up a bit with COVID, we don't, in Western Australia, we don't have any community spread. We have some people in the classroom. We're still being very, very careful, but we're doing a lot of delivery online as well. And we're seeing the opportunities to open up internationally and nationally doing it that way. So it's been quite exciting for us. We've got some good IT people on staff that are supporting that and training other staff. So for us, COVID has been an opportunity. I think within our community, there's a lot of uncertainty. Businesses are reluctant to spend money, so they're still dealing with that. But I think we can make courses cheaper and better by using the strategies we're using now. So that's how COVID has affected us. It's been very positive. I mean, we're still doing things like, you know, everyone sanitizes, we've got masks for learners. During the lockdown, everyone took their computers, their chairs and everything and went home and worked from home. It means now risk management is different for us. If the internet goes down, we just send everyone home and they work from home. So it's made us much more flexible. One of the downsides was just before COVID, we just purchased a new building, which was big training rooms and that sort of thing. And we hadn't even used it. We went into lockdown. So that was a bit sad for a while, but now we're doing blended delivery. We've got some online, some in the classroom. So we're back to using the building, but as well as delivering online. So I think it's been beneficial.
Wow. Let me tell you one thing, okay? You are possibly the first person who told me that COVID is an opportunity. This is the phase for me, okay? You are the first person. And this is called positivity, okay? And possibly because you are an educator and a learner by yourself, so you learn very quick and you were very flexible to cope up with it, where most of the organizations are failing in today's world. Because if you resist yourself to go digital, if you resist yourself to bring all those changes which is required, then you will not be able to cope up with this situation. Otherwise, I still believe that COVID will open a lot of new opportunities for us.
I think,
just like you said, that now the number of participants has been increased. Because think about it, like for example, I'm a person who really want to upgrade my skill. And I know that SSI is an organization which can do it. I'm in India, and now I can enroll for your courses, right?
Absolutely.
So now it's a global offering for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not to be in those four different places, or in those four, places.
Yeah,
we got anywhere, right? So that's a great advantage. And other than that, even if you ask someone to visit your office and take that particular course, then it takes a lot of time in communication. So, and which they can easily say. Now they can take the same amount of knowledge sitting from their home, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Exactly.
This is really, and I'm sure that with the time you will use your new office. And it will help, because obviously we are missing that personal touch. As we thought that we will meet in Mumbai, right, some months back, but we missing that personal touch. But even though through digital mediums like Zoom and other chat mediums or video calling mediums, we are communicating with each other, right? We are, as a human, we are interacting with each other, which is awesome. So which brings me to the next question. Now, you said that you like the point in your previous answer. You told us that you are in business for 22 years, which is a huge amount of experience you have gathered, right? So tell us, like, you have seen, I'm sure you have seen lots of ups and downs. So what was your learning? what was your learning? And if you can just share some of your learnings with us, like which you think that it's important for every business. If you can share some learning.
Yeah. I think running a business is probably the hardest thing you can do. Working for another organisation is much less stressful and easier, but there's also more rewards by making your own decisions and being able to do things that make you feel good, that you've helped someone else. So being in my own business has been very valuable that way. I guess what I learned is the importance of why. That's what drives you. You'll have a huge amount of energy to do things if you're doing it for a particular reason. So that's really important. And the ability to be agile, to change directions when things change. We're living in a society or an economy where things change very rapidly. Knowledge develops or doubles every year. So we need to be able to get rid of old ways and go with the new ways all the time. I always say it's better to be at the front of the wave than swimming to catch up. So you need to be able to read the lay of the land, have a look at what's coming and take a risk to go that way and be constantly trying out new things. So one of the things that I've learned, the most important thing along the way is if you're not changing, you're dying. You need to be growing all the time and changing what you're doing and making it better. And the importance of picking people that can work with you. I think the people you work with need to be your friends. If you wouldn't be prepared to spend time with them having a coffee, well, they're not the sort of people you want to work with. And they need to not necessarily have the same philosophy, because I think it's important that a team is made up of different sorts of people. Like, I'm big picture and I get ideas and that sort of thing, but I need to have people I work with that implement those things and attend to detail, because I'm not good on the detail things. So I have people around me who are good at those things. So I guess being agile, doing things for a reason, picking the right people on your team, letting them go if they're not right, and letting them go, I guess I say with love, you know, that you don't put people offside, they do things for their reasons, and operating that way. So I guess, yeah, that's my mantra for running a business. There's all the nuts and bolts that go along the way, but those are the big picture things.
Awesome, awesome. No, so let me tell you this thing. It's a learning for me as well. Okay, so obviously, you know, I really connect with this particular statement that you need to be in front of the wave rather than you try to catch up, right?
Yeah.
Because I follow a person called Gary Vee. He always said one thing, that you need to be see those things which other people don't able to see and jump into it, so that you can leverage it. Okay, so you need to choose those platforms which are upcoming, because in digital in digital business, we need to see all those things which are upcoming, which can be a trend in future, rather than, you know, trying to catch up with trend. So
yeah,
that's an awesome I think awesome suggestion for anyone in any business, that you need to be proactive. You need to see beyond the vision. You need to see those stuff which are going to happen in future, and you need to start preparing yourself for that. And that same goes with the skill as well, learning as well. You need to learn all the things which will rule future. You shouldn't invest your time in those technologies or in those you know, learnings which may be important in past, but not going to be in the future. Now I'm totally in sync with you on that part. Now, with that, my last question. I know you have your time restrictions, so this is my last question, and this is from my part actually. So I you know, I encourage people to do. So my why is, I always encourage people to do their or create their personal brand. Okay, so what do you think about personal brand? So you yourself have a huge experience in business. You are an awesome personality yourself. So are you doing any personal branding? And if that, then how it's impacting your business, impacting your own self?
And that's a really important question. And I think personal brand is really, really important, and important to everyone who wants to not only get a job, but form relationships, have friends, whatever it is. You need to be your true self and market that, for want of a better word. And marketing, we think of as a business term, but we do it every day in our everyday life. In business, it's important that that brand gets out there, that other people see it. I mean, people buy from their friends, so they want to know who you are. I think along the way, getting my personal brand out there, I often let slip. I'm so busy doing the things in the business, I forget about getting that information out there. And I need to be more disciplined about, putting that out there. And social media allows us to do that. And we need to remember as business owners that that's part of being in business. Like, we attend to our office and we make sure everything's clean and tidy and welcoming and that sort of thing. But we need to be now using the digital world to make sure that that information is out there as well. We run some courses for people who are unemployed, and that's the first thing we teach them about is personal brand and about maintaining that brand. But what it made us do as trainers is, hang on, we need to look at our own personal brand, not only what it is, but how we're telling people about it. And I think we've slipped there, and since we've been working with you, we've back focused on that we need to get the brand out there. And that's why it's important to pick people to work with that are about what the business is, because there's so much brand damage if you've got the wrong person in your business. So that's my views on it. I think in today's world, in my business, which is education, I think thought leadership is really important. And we need to be letting people know what we're thinking, not just talking about it at team meetings, but putting it out there for the rest of the world as well, because that's why they buy. That's, the product they purchase is based on the people who are in it. We're starting to talk more about, the person who's running your course, that this is a bit about them, so that even before people come into the course, they know about the trainer. And that's been accentuated since COVID because we're doing more online. So usually when someone comes into a face-to-face workshop, you start to talk to them, tell them a bit about yourself, that sort of thing. But when they're online, you don't get that socialization. So we've got to build that in so people know who we are. So personal branding becomes very important there.
Thanks a lot. That's a lot of information, and believe me that it amazed me that you think in that way. Okay. First, you talk about thought leadership. Definitely, it's very important from an educationalist perspective, or a person like you. And another thing which stuck to my mind, and I totally believe in that particular part, that you need to know who is your customer or who is your audience. Okay. So it's not only about those people who purchase certain things from you. It's everyone surrounded you. So I always say that, we buy ourselves or we sell ourselves to everyone. Like, I sell myself to my son, my wife, to the to the neighbors, to everyone. So they need to buy me. They need to buy, like, my son need to buy me as a good father. My wife needs to buy me as a good husband. So you need to, like, obviously with them, I'm interacting every day. We seeing each other, one another every day. So we can have the ways to sell ourselves. But what about those people with whom we don't have a contact, or with whom we don't have that interaction in place? So for them, we need to build our brand digitally. We need to be ourselves first, because as you said that whenever you even choose your staff, your employees, your internal customers, you try to figure out if you want to have a cup of coffee with them.
Right, yeah,
Feel
yeah,
good about it. Same way,
yeah,
like people always try to deal with those people with whom they are flexible. They feel comfortable. They feel that, you know, I can work with this person. So it's always
yes,
not about your knowledge or about those stuff which you want to sell. It's about you, right? For example, if I choose a trainer or a coach, then I would love to see someone with whom I'm flexible. I can share my even personal stuff with him. So
yeah,
for that, your personal brand building, I think it's important in educational industry. It's important for everyone. And as you said that, you know, nowadays it's more on digital platforms where people are not meeting with you personally. So
yes,
before they get into a 1 hour session, they need to know you, who you are. Like, for example, if you know that I'm a family person, I have a son, and I'm this sort of human being, then it will be easier for you to connect with me rather than if you just know my name and some educational degrees and other stuff, right?
yeah.
Because you,
It's particularly so in Australia in the training industry. A couple of years ago, the federal government put a lot of money into training, and a lot of people got into training for the wrong reason. They got in for the money. So that means that people become uncertain when they're buying. They think, oh, I'm going to get ripped off. They just want my money. They're not going to give good training. So to make them feel more certain, you've got to be out there as the sort of person that is going to do the right thing by them. And I mean, that's what we were doing anyway, but it just made it more important that, you know, you're telling people what you like.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
let's be very honest, I'm not telling this for the sake of this particular interview. Uh, Honestly, there are a lot of ways I connect with your thoughts, okay, as an entrepreneur, as a human being. And I really
Mm.
appreciate your time, Sandra. It was a lot of learning for me, and I'm sure, you know, from this particular chat, so my audience will also learn a lot of stuff, and they will implement them in their own business, in their own life. So again, thanks a lot for being in this particular chat show and giving your time. I really appreciate, and have a great day.
Thank you, Kumaresh. Anytime, I'm happy to talk to you.
Thank you. Bye bye.